Hi, John. Kadletz Wealth Management. Coming to you from Kadletz Wealth. We're here to give you a little short video. We had a nice weekend. Memorial Day weekend actually is a time to reflect about those that have given their ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, which made me lead to believe that, once you become, financially independent, you have freedom, and the question is, are you taking advantage of that freedom? So we also have Elisa here with us today.
Hi everyone, I'm Elisa Lamel. I'm one of the advisors here at Kadletz Wealth. And today I'm going to be asking John some questions. And we got him in the hot seat, so let's get started. All right, John, how was your Memorial Day weekend?
It was great. We had some good family time, had a little chance to reflect. And then Monday I usually try to just take a few minutes and think about all the people that I have worked with as far as clients, family members, and then those that I don't know that fought for the country, and just think that, there's a lot of people out there that did a lot of great things for this country, and hopefully I'm doing my little part.
Yeah, so I was having some discussions with family and friends over the weekend as well. And while we were reflecting on legacies and what Memorial Day means to us, one of the things that I was thinking about was that in a lot of our conversations with clients, we're talking about legacy planning. So how does your idea of legacy impact how you're advising clients on wealth planning?
Well, it's always a question because, when you're doing this for a number of years, you see your clients age and grow old and actually pass away. And that's, I guess, when I first got in the business, I was never really considered the fact that clients are going to die. And you want to make sure you have your estate plan in order. You want to make sure that you have the right beneficiaries. Everything's titled correctly. And the money's going to go to the people that you want to go to, and it's going to go there very quick and easy. So that's the first thing, is the estate plan, making sure everything's titled correctly. But more importantly, when it comes to legacy, what are you going to do with your money? If you're never been married and you have a nice estate, where's that going to go? So they don't put the money in the casket and put it in the ground. It's left, just like real estate. I think, the guy, he had that farm forever. Well, guess what? The guy died, and now what's going to happen? Are the kids just going to sell it because they want the money? So those are all very important questions I think need to be asked for the family. And, maybe Memorial Day is a good time to talk about that. So I think when you have family together, and not specifics, but just generalities. So.
Yeah, and I think that brings up a really good point about how money can be used as a tool and not necessarily an end goal. So I guess, how do you approach clients as far as changing that mindset for them from accumulation over the years to finally fulfillment, and what can I do to build my legacy with this money now?
Well, I think it's important because when I do a retirement calc for somebody, they're all excited because they're going to retire, and then I look at it from the standpoint of, okay, you're 60 years old and you might live to 90. Your life is on one page. How do you feel about that? What are the things that you have on your bucket list that you haven't done that you want to get done? Because this is the time. And you want to do it before maybe you get too old and too tired to travel and all those kind of things. So, one of the things that we do here is we're trying to encourage our clients to think about spending some of their money. And, remodeling the house isn't necessarily spending the money because you're taking it from one investment to the other. But spending it would be like going on a trip to create some memories, right? Giving it to charity. Those kind of things are actually spending it. It's leaving your control and never to come back.
And so one of the things that we talk about a lot with clients is living an impactful life. So I guess one of the questions that I have is, how you're advising clients to help them live an impactful life beyond just crunching the numbers?
Just do it. I'm an instigator by trade. People tell me to stir the pot. I think this is a great career path for me because, I get people thinking outside the box. They'll come in and they have their accounts and they have all this stuff, and then we can put it all together in one picture and show them okay, this is the impact of the money. This is how much, if you just get, let's just say, normal returns that we can rely on. And I'm not a big fan of getting tied up in all these other special things that you need to do to your money and protect it. Let's just go back to the basics of good quality investing over a long term. What is that going to generate for return? What does that nest egg look like in 20 years? What can you do with that? If you spend some today, does it really impact the future? So I try to bring them back to today. If you need $100,000 to go do something that you always wanted to do, does that screw up your future? And, if I look at it and go, it doesn't even move the needle on the future, then why are you not taking advantage of that and doing it today?
Have you experienced any stories with clients that you were able to instigate into doing something they wouldn't have otherwise?
Yeah, over the years, there's been multiple, but one comes to mind where a client, he said, oh yeah, when we retire, we're going to remodel our cabin. And I'm like, when you retire, and these people they had made good money, they had made some good investment decisions, and they had a very nice nest egg already built up. They just needed a few more years for it to work out, and then possibly retire. And again, retiring it's a process, right? You have to be able to have a mindset like, I'm going to quit working, rely on my money. Believe me, I understand that that's a big step because I've seen it year after year after year. But I said, why don't we look at remodeling the cabin now? And they're like, what? And this was right around 2008, 2009, after things have gone down substantially. But I, again, said, well, let's think about this. You could probably get a builder right now relatively cheap. You can get cheap interest rates. Why not we look at maybe financing a portion and using some of your money? So we ran all the numbers out, and it really didn't move the needle on their future retirement goals. And they went ahead and did it. And they took advantage of low interest rates and builders that were hungry for work and remodeled their cabin. And they did it while they still could enjoy it at a younger age. And they were very thankful that I had brought that to their attention and made them even think about it, because if they would have probably waited till they're older and did it, maybe they wouldn't have even done it, right? Maybe they wouldn't have even done it. And they have spent so much time up there and made so many memories that I don't think you can put a price on that.
So what would you say to clients at these family gatherings over the summer, over the upcoming holidays, all that good stuff, about starting these conversations, initiating these conversations with other family members about financial values and just, their legacy planning, what they have, all of that? How would you recommend clients talk to their family members about that?
Well, I think if you're going to have a family dinner, and you got people maybe in from out of town you haven't seen for a while, it's just, start the conversation. Hey, what are your financial plans, or what are your financial goals, and what do you think? Just to get them talking and thinking about it. Then you can always interject some things to say, well, mom and dad, we don't plan on leaving you a lot, and maybe just to see what their reaction is, right? Because I feel like if you have a family that has, pretty substantial wealth, you might not want to tell the kids right away when they're relatively young, because that, you don't want them, you want them to be hungry and go and do their own thing. But you also want, as a parent, you also want them to know they're going to be okay. So it's a delicate act of not telling them too much, but kind of being there to help them out if things get a little rough. And I'd say don't make it a habit. Like, don't do it on every year at Christmas and it's the same amount, because they get used to that. Vary it, right? Do different things. Maybe their car broke down, you pay the bill for them on that, or just stagger it so it's not always assumed that it's going to be coming. But I think more importantly, family is a good time. And if you have struggles with doing it on your own accord, then I say set up a meeting, come in with us, bring everybody in the room, and we'll have a conversation. We don't need to be specific about numbers, but just, okay, here's what we're trying to do. Here's what we're trying to, you guys are beneficiaries. So if anything happens to mom and dad, if money's going to come to you, we have it set up correctly that we're here to help you. So when things do go wrong, and believe me, when death happens in a family, like the last thing people want to worry about is like, where's all that? Who's going to help me with that? And that's what our office is great at doing. We've helped a lot of people process estates. And if you work with us, we're going to have that set up correctly so that if anything does happen to you, it's going to go very smooth and very quick.
Perfect. And I think that that's a really good insight to bridge the gap between the younger generations and then working with their parents' advisors and kind of understanding, what they're going to be working with.
Right. Because, accumulating wealth takes time. It just doesn't happen. You can't go on TikTok and find the latest, get rich quick thing and make a lot of money. Now, there's people that are making good money on TikTok or Instagram or all these different social media platforms, but good wealth, sustainable wealth, takes time to build it and grow it. And hopefully you have multiple streams of income coming in over your lifetime. But always to have it in the back of your mind and keep thinking about, okay, how do I grow my wealth? There's a difference between what are you going to save for your wealth and what are you going to spend for your income, right? So you got to kind of separate that.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your insights today. They were very helpful.
All right. Thank you again.
We'll see you next time.